is the final game coming your way here to
わあ
determine our champion.
また
It's
極端
time
な航
for
路
Pims for all the action, the grassy pastures. It's Erangel.
Last chance to dance, Rich. This is it. This is what it comes down to. TSM currently hold pole position. Tornado Energy are not far behind, but it's gonna take
TSM ってランドマーク
a
どこだっ
big
け
push from them. And they can't be a quiet win. You've got to go out and blast this one. Let's have a look. Rich, where are you seeing this one go? Where are you banking on this one?
I mean, for me, as it is the last round, I'm looking for anybody to see if someone's going to try and ruin a game here. I'm looking if anyone's going to get close, if someone's going to get aggressive, if someone's going to go and try and take someone out. I still have this, I know it's not happening, but in my mind, I always think to the close calls we've seen between Unity and TSM. If there ever a chance to really ruin TSM's day, it would go for them now, drop on them, and, well, I'm sure that would go down, honestly, like a lead balloon. But everything's kind of calm at the moment from what I'm seeing. Yeah, red line will more than likely go to the normal positions, get the vehicles, given where the flight path is. Still quite close to Team Liquid. Team Liquid are instantly just gathering all the vehicles, get inside, get the gear, and get ready to see where this circle will be going. Oh my god, that is so much water in play. Instantly when we look towards this, Lauren, how many times have we seen
特段
glory finishes in and around
何かが
that
起こ
area
るわ
just
けも
because
な
it
く
pushes not only the circle 4 it pushes away from water, but look at how much land is surrounded by water. That's why it kicks it inland half the time. Yes, for the first 2 circles that we see, including this one 3, it can go anywhere. It's anyone's game. I mean, Christ, if this somehow, by hook or by crook, kept Primorskin and it went towards the Prim hillside.
Yeah.
Oh,
レッドライン移動早
so chaotic.
Okay.
You now
I do want
have
to
to look
highlight
at the
something,
vehicle.
Rich.
Yep.
Just briefly, where QB and Michael are going towards.
今まだ2分ぐらいか ?3 分弱ぐらいでしょ
Of the quarry
レッドライン
itself.
早い
That's
ね
normally where Tornado Energy put their stake of the claim, and it's actually a really strong area, especially to get to late game. It may not win you it necessarily, but it gets you kind of last circle. And yeah, Northern Lights are already at this sort of spot. Not too surprising in that regard, but yeah, I'm looking at Tornado Energy as to how they approach this, because I know that they normally play these circles quite well. This has been a very favorable circle towards how they approach it. QBE's dead in the water. That's Northern Lights straight on the board in 3rd place. For Northern Lights to win this, they're going to need a ginormous performance. I mean, something beyond what we've seen so far, really. You can't do anything other than 1st place with, a boatload of kills to boot. Now, I want to see how the likes of Na'Vi approach this. Do they try and deny area away from someone like...
あと
As you
20
can see right now, it's just towards the right side of Michael. It's a compound you'll often see Tornado Energy go to here, but I'm wondering if that's going to be the case. And for someone like TSM, this could be a brutal area to get through as well in that regard, because they've got so many teams behind them. Where do they pop up? Where do they go towards? I couldn't call this one.
No, it's difficult. Team Liquid opt in this time not to just go guns blazing and rolling in. They will definitely be... They're a resilient team, but you have to say, it affects you mentally, and it really
動き出し
does
早え
game when you go out in 16th place, when you were so close to that top area, and you were within, literally just throwing distance of the top 3. So... utter resilience. Team Liquid need to battle themselves here to be able to continue the fight and jump up into that top 3 area. Northern Lights already, as you mentioned, getting a point, puts them only 7 away from Tornado Energy. And let's just, for all but a moment, think TSM picking up 2 wins today, that's 20 points. That's given them the buffer that they needed. Like, 13, excuse me,
12ポイントは上から16、5、4、3、2、
it's definitely breakable. But they
0
have to go down early. Things have to go wrong here for TSM now, for Tornado Energy to stand a chance of winning this, or the Northern Lights for that matter. Omakan, they'd not only need TSM, Tornado Energy, Northern Lights to do bad, but they need frags. A win for this will not cut it. No way. There's just... It's not going to be enough. TSM's 2 wins
8位からじゃない
has done so much for them.
厳密に言うと16、5、4、3、2 10、16、5、4、3、2、1、1じゃないかな
At home, look at the kill points between Tornado Energy and Northern Lights. how close can you get? This could be a tie all the way down to it. You know, you think about the points difference, 7 could easily happen.
お、でも
That's how
早い。
to where teams are moving. Tornado Energy is on the move. I'm going to try and stick towards the top end of things, if I'm honest. And
や
this
っぱ
is
初
one of the
動の
teams that we
中
have to
央
look
意
at.
識は
Gonna scout on
な
the
ぜ
hill
かや
here.
たら高いん
Senna
だよ
currently is
な、
residing.
ヨーロ
Senna
ッ
is
パ。
not with the rest of the squad, so he will be moving over as well. Gonna
す
shift
ぐ
through.
素でどっか行
And
くけど。
actually, Game Frame have taken over the compound I was considering might be Tornado Energies. They do tend to end there, but it's not going to be the case from now. TSM, opting for a more northern swing. Gonna head down on the western coast and just slot in somewhere. They do seem to
無
kind
理
of
に
sit
切る
somewhere
狙い
in the
に
middle.
行くとしても
Kind of
中
just,
盤
yeah,
以
a couple of these
降が
compounds
よ
on
っ
the western
ぽ
side. They
ど
seem
チ
to
ャ
be
ンスが
happy
転
enough
が
with
っ
that.
てる
We've
時
seen
じゃ
that,
ない
you know,
か
sometimes before.
な。順位ポイント
Then
絡めない
that's normally
と
on the checklist. Teams on the outskirts,
リキッ
Phase, Tempest,
と
and
マッ
Penguins
ケンノーザン
Blades.
ライツあたり
Not too
は
worried about them yet. Omicron
相当
following
厳いから
behind
ね。
TSM.
序盤で人数かけるのは美味しくない。
Vasco and T-Bone are quite detached from the others. The others are further ahead on the western road. I want to see how TSM approaches this, how they try and play this one out smartly. Obviously, you don't be taking too many risks. Northern Lights in a very wide 2-2 split as well, almost a kind of 1-1-1-1 split. It's quite
いやでもリ
individual,
キッドとエンスは
but
も
they're
う無理
holding
だ。
a massive amount of land. Now, Gemty's getting
リキ
very
ッ
close
ド
by
エン
towards
スフェーズあた
TSM.
りだったら
Let's not
無理
forget
くり
that,
戦
because
闘仕掛
Gemty's
け
a
るみたい
fragger,
な
you
の
know,
も
that's not a
まああ
play
り
you
え
want
な
to
く
face
は
off
ねえか
against.
な。
Vex has been outstanding as an
まあでも
individual.
1位狙うってよりは
has to be
賞
regarded
金
as
も
one
か
of
かってる
the
しな、
standout
堅
individuals
実
of
に
the
狙うんじゃないです
limelight.
かね。
So I really wouldn't want to tussle with him unless you really have to. So for now, they can try and avoid each other. And with Spyro taking a couple of shots towards Marv, surely Vard's going to hear that. You can see it on the map on that very southwestern side. And for Tornado Edgy, they
うん、
are
そう
going to
だ
be
ね。まあ
sitting
リキッドが
in
早い。
the
で、リキッドの
longwoods.
中で早いっつうか、アジアの大会見てる
And, also,
と
shout out to the community
動き出しが
for
ど
turning
の
out.
チ
It's
ー
one thing I
ム
love
も
about
早
PUBG,
い。
whether you're a competitive player,
め
you're
ちゃ
a
めちゃ
streamer,
早い。
you turn out for these games. I've seen Breakout there, you know, Dan who's turned up. Like, I appreciate you guys turning up. This is good. This is what I love about PUBG. The community makes this game great. And a game like this can highlight exactly as to why a final so close is just why we love
賞
this
金
game.
2000
Let's
万。
see how this one goes down because Ends, man, they've got to be heartbroken after the performance they had today. They were right at the
全
top
部で
bridge
ね。
and now what, sitting down quietly in 6th. They've not had the performance that I wanted.
最下位も出るよ。
There is shadow
も
of
う
the
こ
former
の
selves from yesterday.
まあ言ったらこれ
It's-
決
it
勝みたいな
is-
もんだか
it's
ら
depressing to see, to be honest.
ここに出てる時
We
点
had
で
high
賞金は
hopes
まず
returning to
確
the
定してる。
CCNs of old, but things have just not fallen into place for them. No points across
2000
all
万
three
ドルじゃない
games.
20万ドル
Absolutely
ね。
no way to be winning this because everyone takes
2000万円
advantage
ね。
of you
20
losing
万ドル
out.
ね。
Everyone starts to think, okay, well we can jump above this, and you've got to run with it. If there's any signs of weakness amongst the roster, if there are any signs of you being able to move on that leader table, you have to grab it with both hands and just run with it. This is why you will see
まあでも国際大会だったら
Let's be real here. This is their game to throw. There's no
2億ぐらい出て
reason,
る大会なかったっ
absolutely
け
no
PUBG あったよね。
godforsaken reason why they go aggro here. They sit back, they play defensive. I am a little bit concerned of how much
Parties
land they're
shift.
taking. That's my
The
only
Wildcats
concern I
keep
will
going that
say.
way?
まあこれは国際大会じゃないけ
Well,
ど
this is the thing.
国
You
際大会
speak
は
about
2億あっ
Vex,
たよ。
Miracle, but individual fraggers, they're going to have to stand up to that name. There is, as you can see, the Tracer Fire now been able to peacock teams away from it. That is the saving grace. But a four-man split, any four-man stack rolls up when you're a dead man. Doesn't know how many you
Phase
actually take
crashing.
out on arrival. Phase are crashing indeed. They've lost Ghost Staff, but there is
キル
response
欲
back
しい
from the
ね
Texas Tab. Tekkas goes down. That's either one or
お
two only standing.
フェーズが稼いで
Compound itself. When we look towards the
お
side
ま
of
かん
the
も稼いで
main
る。
frame. Tekkas also falls to Navi. That's a different team altogether. It looks like Omicron have actually taken out one of the wildcats she created. Did fall in that transition, so that only helps out TSM. Circle updates, and it sinks in almost
こうい
perfectly.
う
It
戦闘
actually
のチャンス
follows
があっ
the
たらがっつりいく
coastline.
な。
That couldn't be more perfect for TSM Omicron if they wanted it to be. Omicron may be hoping for a few more teams to be able to come their way, but for TSM, this is slow and steady all the way. They can work up. They have the hillside across the road. They might even have an eye line into Omicron if they're not careful. Navi clearly have a read on this fight that's going on. That's because they're in the long woods. Cross looking inwards of this. So they need to be careful. Excuse me, they're not. There's actually Tornado Energy that's in the long woods across this. They won't have any eye line on that whatsoever. Navi are actually in the yellows behind
結
them.
構慎重にな
That
ってん
long
な
flat。top where you can go up to the third floor.
行っちゃっていいと思うけどな。
On all of these teams, Tempest will set up in the
時間かけた方がまずそうな気する。
might roll on inwards of them, so they have to be extremely careful.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little nervous about TSM. I'm gonna tell you as to why.
もう TSM は10点取るだけでいい。10点取るだけって言ったらあれだけど、まあ5点10点取るだけでいいからね。1位になる必要ないからな。まあ必要がないっていうのは言い過ぎかもしれないけど、まず目指してるところはそのラインだろうからね。
I think obviously being backs to the sea, there is no threat of behind you for now, which is a big wind condition for them and big factor for them. But I do slightly worry. Now, on the other side, we are seeing FaZe pushing in. Uber, nice clean work. That's swift from FaZe. Uber, the main man. He hasn't been his normal highlight self, but you know he's always got something.
でもよく見たらグスタフォのおいちゃん死んでたんだね。
This doesn't stick towards maybe a western side. How do they shift eastern on this? For Tornado Energy, I see far more.
まあ無理して取りに行って人数を大きくかけてたり全滅するリスクを考えれば本当にセーフティーに取れるところを取りに行くっていう感じになるってんのかね。まあその辺も結構考え方一つで変わるけどな。終盤になればなるほど選択肢が狭まってくるから、その時にどうしようもない立ち位置になったら10位とか9位とかで何もできねえで死ぬのが一番もったいねえとも思うけど、まあそのあたりは難しい。
Yeah, this is a very precarious position to be playing off the back of. If they have to move, which even if it's going to be a move, it won't be too far unless it's the hardest shift towards the north possible. So, Fops for the SLR with the 6 times on. Holds his...
すげえところいる
a moment to see if any of these teams decide to, any of these players, should I say, stand still. And then we'll release full force. 1, 2, thank you.
1, 2, thank you.
Unity. They've had it rough this tournament, unfortunately, as that team, and it's only going to get worse in the final map. Orange probably going to go down to the blue as well. At the moment,
PCS1 いい場所取ってるな。南になっても北に寄っても入る場所ありそうだ。
Let's have a look and take a look and see where she goes. It moves more towards the north, and now Ira's position. Yes, it's in the field, but there is something to work.
アイロンのポジションそのまま入っていいと思うけどな。あそこ高い山でしょ。
Those hangers that have the 2 front windows in and look straight opposite all of that open field. It's strong. The issue is for Omakan for me. It's not going to get them frags. No one's going to go towards it. No one's going to fight for that.
Where does Tornado Energy go? Hold on. They're moving. Wait one sec. Tornado Energy again, very close towards Northern Lights. They've got to be very cautious on this rotation. It's not necessarily a bad idea, but they're getting very close towards TSM. They keep heading this way, they're going to end up in a very similar area.
ぼちぼちノーザンライツさんあたりはポイント欲しくなってきますね。でも全然人減ってねえからな。10人弱、8人。トルネードエナジーいい場所入ったな。
Looks like it.
Got in the back. Rather unfortunate. But, and again, Lauren, once they're in there, that's the only problem. They have to fight teams that come this way. But because of Gemty's position in the hangars behind them, you no longer are available to go towards the west. Everything has to go forward or to the east. You simply cannot go west because they are hold dead to rights in there. They are locked inside.
なんか今日めっちゃ顔のこと言われるな。何もしとらんと。メガネしてないだけや。
I think they'll be okay because it's TSM, but let's talk about the downside of playing Swamp, and I think anyone who plays PUBG knows it. The fact that you can get overwhelmed without being able to see it. It's very easy because obviously you're in a little bit of a dip, right? The swamp kind of goes down and the edges are just beyond your vision. It's very hard to see this. And we are seeing Liquid in a bit of a battle there with Tempest. They're trying to hold the eastern side.
Atsuyo!
Like WP, they could actually get a fight towards TSM. With limited information on TSM's side of them being able to control the battle themselves. So again, I think it's one of those positions you want to be quiet in, and it's very tricky to hold Tornado Energy in a little bit more of an open visual position, but a lot harder to crash and lose out on. So we'll see how this unfolds down the line. For now, we can jump on Liquid and see how they're getting on. Nice little pick up for James there on clip. Should be a flush. Lovely. For Liquid, sadly, their last game performance just kind of put them, in my mind, outside of that first position potential, but they could certainly push here. They could certainly get up towards that, higher end position, and Tempest down 13th, they could be a team to be potentially
重ねられなかったね、リキッド。
Tomol is my favorite bowling ball. You know, slap, etc. He is my favorite. But the point is, at the moment, they're just not having. They didn't have the good games that we saw before in some of the previous tournaments. It just didn't seem to happen for them. But hopefully they can find a bit of that. But beyond it, Liquid are now falling away from this slightly. Maybe just see if they could catch one of the Penguins as well. But it wasn't to be. Unity might find Pixel, who was a bit of a master with the barrel initially. Now he's been spotted out, and now this plays really interestingly. Now, I would always talk about how strong Redline's position is.
TSM 別に普通に見てたらそんな悪い場所じゃないんだけど、なんかこのままキル取らずに全滅できないって考えるとヒヤッとする場所だね。この辺も入れるし、まあセーフゾーンによっては口は東にも西にもあるけど、ちょっと嫌だね。オマカン VS ナビポジション争いじゃ。
And they're also okay.
Oh!
Getting involved in the back line. Sonya goes down.
Oh, jump kits!
Empty answers back onto the tab. So Navi are being dismantled. The first time they get involved in engagement, and they are just battered, completely removed from the playing field altogether. Liquid has turned up to this very strong compound. It's so damn hard to breach. They even had a
うわ、リキッドこれやばそう。
up the side of this little hill here. What's holding them back for now? Tornado Energy should have vision.
でもまあ車線は通らないから切れるからフェーズの車線も通んないしエンスがちょっと怖いのかな。トルネードエナジーも大丈夫でしょ。オマカンのポジションがちょっといや通んねえか。さすがに通んねえ。南のノーザンライツも大丈夫だし。
How do we get around this? What's the game plan for them here? I'm unsure.
キープかな。
There's a very good reason they are the professionals. I am the commentator here.
やっべーこれ。いや、行く行く行く。
Speaking of judge, this could be a poor judgment call. Luckily for them, make it out okay. And they make it not necessarily in yet, but safer than they were.
フェーズがそわそわし始めた。
It's not necessarily a full surroundment, but it is setting up and fanning out to give them multiple
ペンギンは終わったな。
angles to at least keep them in check towards the swamp side. I suppose Tornado Energy is the biggest factor in all of this. Omakan, Omakan is still to do something, but the problem is for Tornado Energy, they can't just see into this and read into it. Zorf taken out by his companion, but you know what? Nothing else really you can do. Roll over, show your belly. I think this is done, boys. Now this is interesting. This is a vital battle. 6 points separating the two teams on your screen. Omakan, Tornado Energy. Now the question is if Jimbo or any of the boys on the side of Liquid decide, okay, we can't really do anything here from Redline. Why not throw a few grenades and maybe just beeline towards Tornado Energy.
ああ、まあ TSM 入れるけど、なんだっけ、ウィズポテンシャルだっけ。と戦闘になった時の漁夫が怖いな。ブレイズとかエンスとか。オマカンも下手したらそっち側来んじゃないか。TSM 忙しそう。リキッドは最悪キープでもいいけど。オマカンがでもここは TSM いるから取れないでしょ。トルネードエナジーも動かないって考えたら、リキッドはキープできる。オマカンはどっか行かなきゃいけない。トルネードエナジーはクロージング、ノーザンライツもクロージング。フェーズはまあその辺をとことこお散歩してもらって、エンスとか戦ってもらったら漁夫行ってもらう。
if they want a
エンスも
chance
キー
at
プ
this.
で
They're
周りの
just
様子
behind
見か
Omuken, but it's still
な。
a long step. It's a win and a good handful of
敵に
points to
ポイン
jump
ト
this.
は
TSM
入りま
looking
す
like
よ。
they're ready to move. Omuken moving up as well, but they're going to be getting themselves
気絶
prepared
入
for
っ
the
てた
next
ら
step.
もう
It's
気
not
絶入れ
the
た人
final
に強制的
destination.
にポイン
Bard
ト入
already
る
going
よ。
to find evolution. That's towards WP.
ポイン
And
ト
now
じゃ
we
な
need
くて
some
多分
support
物
to
資
get
拾う
Vex
ため
and
だと思
Iroh
う。
involved. But Gemty might find line of sight. Look at T-Bone and Gemty, and if they spot this, or if they focus on Tornado Energy, there's going to be a big split of where they put their attention here. And it looks like this battle is about to commence, Rich. TSM can see this. They've just found Gemty. That's Vex on towards Gemty. No flush yet, but it could be happening soon.
Oh.
Just about spots him out the window, but here it is. Miraku's going to find Gemty, but Tornado Energy grabbing points.
TSM が
Never letting people get away with
順
this.
当に
They're not, but it's happening on both sides. Blaze is setting up a shop towards the northern side of the circle, regardless of
ポ
what
イント
TSM's
集めてきた。
mission is and how much information they have in front of them. No matter how many frags, they're still not
で
inside.
も
Whereas
トルネードエナ
all
ジ
these
ー
teams that are just
全員
below
残して
them
て
We were
are.
pushing back.
Nixties and Co will be
12
slowly
ポイント
shuttling
差だから今
forward. Blaze have opted to disconnect from their
全
fight.
然
Now
ある
focus towards ends. This will be a
余裕である
side. Nixties takes down Bard. This is the
あり
fight
あり
we'll
の
say
あり
could be a problem. Demon's already all tanked up, which is pretty damn decent. Vex will then go through
あ
as well.
この辺取るってなってきたらちょっと話変わってくる。
Could this be the final stand of Nixties? That would be sick if he managed to take him down because then that relieves a small amount of pressure. They can work this ridgeline and they can make it happen, at least for a
別に
survivability
TSM に優勝してほしくないわけじゃないんだけど、なんかひっくり返ってほしい感
Omuken and Tornado Energy are about to
あ
clash
る
as
と
well.
思います。
Oh my
Split
god.
screen that. Get ends out of there. I do not care. I love those fins, but not today. Nixties is 10 HP. He's probably dead in the water. Let's look at this one. Omuken have to fight forward. Tornado Energy going to put through the paces. TSM is safe for now. Quizzy finds
13
fast.
ポイ
Could
ン
this
ト
be
差
Omuken's last
トルネード
chance?
エナジーも
It's
キル取ってるか
all
ら
falling away in front of them. Page goes down to the blue. This is huge points for Tornado Energy as well. Against a big team to do it against a T-Bone.
美味しい
There's no
ぞ
other option than just run. Try and get him 5 HP. Barely scrapes it in. But look how many points Tornado Energy are gathering. How
追
many
っかけてる
kills
追っかけて
they
る
up to now? They have been
トルネードエナジー追っかけて
getting
ます。
fruitful work from them, but Northern Lights leaves them a gift on the way out. Knocking Melman and a
Oh.
flush to boot. Spyro will be happy with that, grinning ear to ear. A nice little claim, keeping Northern Lights on par with Omuken. 142 points. The gap has suddenly become a little bit
トル
greater.
ネードエナ
TSM
ジー
kept
今ちょ
their
っと
four
パ
alive,
セーフゾーンうまく見えなかったけ
are
ど
now down to 3. But this run
バー
is
タオか
brutal.
な
TSM know it, I know it, you know it. TSM know this woods up in the north are not comfortable. They are hard to play from. And it's
あ
no
TSM これ車ないの
energy. Where do they go? To the
積んでない
compound? Towards liquid? There is no option left.
They're going to go for the swing because, as you mentioned, look at how much land is open for all these teams to not play with, of a better word. Smokesel goes down, Tixu, Squeaky will follow through as well, so they'll be able to put those up and build some kind of a wall. Maybe build a barricade with the vehicles once they bring them down.
入る場所ある
on
か
the side of the circle, but Tulin's onto Tixu, finally gets the headshot with the mini. Now they can advance forward. They're sending the vehicle. Spyro's pushing up on this one.
あ
They
キル
both
拾
get
い
the
そ
circle
う
well. They can hear all this going down, so TSM will move with this. Remember,
八
it's
角倒
all
して
downhill. Once they
八
pass
角から見渡す限りの
Ends
エンスとノーザンライツ打ちまくって
open.
めっちゃポイント入りそう
Everything is a field day for Fierce Clan in front of them, so they have to be vitally careful here. Diggory goes down. That's a
トル
nice
ネードエナ
initial
ジー
spot.
は
Vex
レ
grabs
ッ
him.
ドラインの車線気にしながら
So much more better, so much more easier
リキ
for
ッドと戦
TSM.
わなきゃいけないあこれ終わったな
Taking out their next nearest opponent.
TSM だな
That's two players that have fallen now. Plus space goes down. Ira joins in the fight, knocks onto Squeaky. This is a full three-way battle at the moment. Everything is just going in the way of TSM. They're getting points by frag by frag. That's Mr. Man on the floor. Vex finds him. 7 points in the bag. This is looking solid from the boys in black. Fantastic work
モルタで
so
駆動
far, but can they keep a hold of it? Tornado Energy down to 2. The Northern Lights have just stabbed them in the back
ト
line.
ルネードエナジーも決して悪くないんだけどな悪くなかったんだけどな
Mars found him. Omuken are done for.
Oh.
They are out of the running. Close but not close enough. Lord, the Knights just lost to Umbertulins. A big loss too. They're on the chase. Tornado Energy still stand in front of them. With these two players standing, they are the ones denying them that second place. And Northern Lights now down to 3 on 144. They needed a big performance here.
投げ物
The gap
祭り
is
じ
getting
ゃ
greater, as you said, TSM, it's all looking good, but they're continuing forward, Rich. They aren't happy just sitting back. This is a push onto FaZe? Oh my wordy. Don't make mistakes against FaZe. Yes, they may not be in the runnings towards winning this, but you doubt them individually and you will die. Uber, 80, Buzzface, all alive and kicking. Utility are plenty.
花火大会だ
Smokes are up. FaZe prepare themselves for the fight, and you can see as to why. Look at that new circle. It is brilliant. It is very good for FaZe and TSM, but they don't want to share it. But maybe TSM needs to realize we can't overpush this. We can't overplay
いやでもここまで来たらもうちょっと
FaZe
TSM
got
勝ってほ
open
しい
to
な
Northern Lights. Vectis could see them.
こ
They
こま
really
で来た
see
ら
a
も
bigger
う
picture here. And for someone like Tornado Energy, this might be the last final stand for them. I don't know if they
や
can
っぱちょ
make
っ
it
と
out
若
of this
干あれだ
group.
ね
Liquid to get
攻めづらそう
through.
にしてんね
There's too many teams in front of them.
ああ
We said it was rather open and rather precarious from the very start with Alia going down. This spells disaster. I said there was an opportunity at the
Find
time
the
that Team
hole.
Liquid turn face, and this could be it. The nades are down. The utility's been cycled. The bombardment commences, and Tornado Energy go crashing out in 6th position. It's good, but it's absolutely not good enough.
リキッド4位あるのそれも見てみたいリキッド4位も見てみたいあそれ
It's looking like it, isn't it? I don't think the other teams could catch, but my math ability is severely bad. But for now, let's see if what they can do. Let's see if maybe Liquid could jump Northern Lights. Let's see if that's a potential. Everyone is fighting for placement.
4位どころか3位あるの
Right on the line. Liquid under
うわ
pressure. Nades perfect from Michael. Could not find the target any better. Next, he is down on his knees. You got to accept your fate. Ibby trying to hold the back lines, but has to move up. Marv still there, trying to take his time.
あれイビ大丈夫イビゾ大丈夫か今の
That's from TSM. That's from the other side.
めちゃめちゃパルスダメージ食らってた
Starting
か
to look towards red line, and red line starting to make their moves forward. Nice positioning.
Aye.
And better positioning from Marv. He held back. He waited
あ
patiently.
パルスで
Traded on by Ibby, but by this point the damage is done. Liquid
Wow.
are looking worse for wear. Just K-Mind alive. As they all just pile in together, Jeems now gets flushed. It's looking like this could be the final stand for Liquid, maybe going down in 5th here.
TSM are being held back from the Northern Lights. There's nothing too much more they can do. Smokes are up for K-Mine. He knows it's his last stand. He's inside the circle, but in a very awkward position. Spyro puts the nail in the coffin, so the Northern Lights, they do jump up.
あじー
Staying slowly, but you ain't going nowhere, my friend. The deep on one side, and the deep in the blue on the other. That's rather unfortunate, but they are fanning out around the circle, which causes problems for all the teams that are inside of them. 1, 2, 3,
ここまで来たら
4, 5, 6, 7,
TSM 行ってほしいですけどね
With the placement, that will be 10. Again, I'm not the mathematician I used to be, not that I ever have been, so we don't want to be confirming this one just yet, but I'm sure it will become mathematically impossible for TSM to give this up. FaZe Clan's still there and holding the down circle, rather yin and yang, and holds TSM back. Eventually they will have to make this strong push. Fuzzface Uber, tech point behind the vehicle. Itzy goes for a slightly deeper angle, maybe just to try and quell
こんな詰まることあるかねしかし
They can't do too much from an upper side of the circle perspective, just given the Northern Lights' presence on that hill. As soon as they do it, they are mirrored. And the Northern Lights have a full, clear vision upon them.
ああなんだグリーじゃねえのか
The flashbang's been over to Spyro. Michael spots him. This just makes things
取られ
more
た
easier for TSM because then there's room to move. Vex just steals
Oh!
away a final point. And you know what? Why the hell not?
おマジアル 20% だな
They've all been brought forward.
やべ
Finally, it's go time.
ディープの車線がナイスカバーすぎるフェックス強すぎる
Finally, Itzy falls. Ira,
あー頭が
kill feed is just lighting up with TSM's names. It's only Fuzzface standing and Redline. The next one.
うわ
This is devastating.
マジでフェックス強えぞ
That's all it is across the board. They are taking no names. Everyone's dying left, right, and center on their asses. Michael, it's your last stand. What can you do against
マジでこのマッチ強いてか今日一日通して強かったけど特にこのマッチ強いしかも気持ちよくなってない偉い
Truly deserving performance. Let's see.
気持ちよくなってないの偉い
Could only imagine that they'd want to. Michael geared up as best he could be. No utility left though, but the gear's looking good. But I think he knows his days are numbered. TSM in full force. He knows it. He's trying to bait them out. He's trying to play them out. But TSM have played the entire lobby perfectly. And the man I want to look at.
うめえ
Headshot up here, off angle.
あー最後はトルコの英雄アイローだ
15 kills. 15. That is magnificent. Truly, truly magnificent from those guys. They can be incredibly proud of what they've just achieved. And I mean, they left that to those final moments.
Monk
Rich. That came down to the wire. This tournament has been incredible.
I'm glad that Ivor didn't look at the point situation because she wanted no pressure whatsoever going into that. But with how many wins they've had today, it's just a telling story of how much TSM wants.
にしてもよう勝ったな。
It was still anyone's game.
普通に全滅してても4位ぐらいで終わっててもおかしくなかったけど。
This week, in fact, throughout this entire competition, from a 36
フェックスおじさんめちゃめちゃフェックスしてた。
36 map group stage.
9キルぐらいしてなかったわ。
qualifications, and then we come
お
down
しっ
to
こしてくるわ。
top 16.
暴行やば。
Europe has really put on a show. Yes, there have been a few outlandish teams here and there that maybe just couldn't step up to the upper echelons that was required for this level of lobby. But what a formidable competition. What an awesome way to end it. TSM with the win, not only of the win of this map, but the win of the whole competition. I mean, congratulations, boys. You've kind of made that one look easy. That was just a sterling job.
Yeah, I think there's not much more to be said. It's been a pleasure casting as ever with you, Rich, and thank you to you guys at home for sticking with us and enjoying this tournament, and of course the players for putting on such a brilliant show. But enough from us, let's head back to the boys to close this one out and confirm who walks away in first place.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Thank you very much, Lauren and Sims. For 18 games out of the 28 across the 4 days, it was up in the air as to who was going to be able to take this. However, with 2 rounds remaining, TSM left no doubts in anyone's mind that they are going to be crowned the absolute champions here of PCS Europe. What a performance we have just witnessed in these last 2 games. They said, close competition? Let's just wipe that aside and make this our competition. Martin, Toby joining me here. Martin, to start things off, TSM blasting away.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting because I made a tweet like saying we've never had a competition so close with 2 games to go, and TSM just comes in and wrecks it. So when we look at the last standings, once we're done, it's going to be like, ha, close. As you said, nah, it's just crazy to see how well they're able to step up. Fex had an insane performance here in the last game as well, and overall, these guys are they've stepped up to a level that we haven't seen them at before, so very well deserved, honestly.
Here's the points coming in from this game, 9th through 16th, and some of these teams were looking for points to try and push themselves into that kind of 11th place position. However, it was very, very difficult to do so. Let's take a look at our 1 through 8, though. That is extremely important here, as we see up towards the top. And as if they couldn't close out in any better way, Toby, they get 15 kills, a lot of which at the end were against FaZe.
こりゃ終わり良ければ全てよし、文句なしの1位と言えるのではないでしょうか。俺マジで終わり良ければ全てよしの典型だろ。別に終わりだけが良かったわけじゃねえけど。
And to be able to go out and do this on the final day of the tournament, that's absolutely insane. I mean, it goes to show
いろいろ思うところはあったとしても、最後にこれだけの結果で優勝を決めてれば文句はないでしょう。
Then when they changed up the roster, people started having their doubts. They weren't delivering as we wanted them to. And now I think, I mean, anyone who ever had doubt in TSM's capabilities in terms of high-tier European PUBG, or at least global PUBG, you can say too, those doubts have got to be gone. They proved today that they are, if not the best team in Europe, then arguably at least right now, one of the absolute top 2 teams that include the world.
編集さん購読ありがとうございます。小田原さん購読ありがとうございます。マシナさん購読ありがとうございます。山桐さん購読ありがとうございます。岩栗くんさん購読ありがとうございます。チェルシーさん購読ありがとうございます。スラムさん購読ありがとうございます。
Team Liquid, Navi, ENCE, TSM, FaZe Clan, and Raise Your Edge, who was unfortunately able to qualify for this phase in particular. However, we may see them bounce back in the future. One of the names that's maybe a little bit of an outlier coming into this one might have been ENCE to start things off, Martin. They didn't have the best of days today. However, across the 3 days before, they certainly proved that they are one of the invite teams that we should be looking out for here.
Yeah, for sure. They stepped up, and if they're able to, you know, fix their mistakes in 1 day, then they could have been battling with the top along with Tornado Energy and TSM today. But obviously, you can't come to a championship Sunday and not perform. Then everybody else is going to blow you out of the water. 17 points per game, TSM today. That's 7 kills and a win in every single game on an average. You know, it's crazy to see that. So it's well deserved. Tornado Energy also had a really good performance, but ENCE didn't live up to it today, but it's super nice to see that they're able to step up.
Let's take a look now at some of the qualified teams moving forward into PCS2 as well. And we will start things, of course, with my boys, Tornado Energy, they didn't quite seal the deal towards the end, Toby, here, but throughout this tournament, not only in the group stage, but also in the final as
これ
well,
チーム
they've
ごと
shown
の
that they're able to stand with
あれじゃ
any
ね
name in Europe.
For sure, I mean, they
チームごと
managed to
の
find first place in the
ハイライト
qualifiers
かな
and they get second place now here in the finals. And I mean, as I was saying,
すげえ凝ってる。うわ、強い今の。あ、別の人が倒してた。
teams like some of the ones below as well, they have proven that the pedestal is, if not completely destroyed yet, then it's potentially going to be over the next coming months.
People are knocking it down with that sledgehammer. Here's the damage done as well by Tornado Energy. They came in with a lot of kills. I think the only teams that was actually going to be able to trump them was TSM when it came to those kills overall. But moving on now, let's take a look at our next team qualified into PCS2. It is Northern Light. As we take a closer look. And again, Martin, throughout the past 2 tournaments we've watched them at now, on this kind of big grand stage, they have stood out as one of the big names.
Yeah, obviously them winning our PCS charity showdown. Or the
あー、これすごかったな。
For them to come into this, also this battle in 1v3, an actual straight up 1v3, they're coming at them with seconds in between. That was one of the moments I was also happy to
あ、
see
このまとめ方いいね。
them to finish third in this tournament. Like, yes, we expect a lot of them. I think third is very respectable. I would say, yes, they're maybe expecting them to win the tournament, but I would say a success for them is definitely a third place here in this tournament with this caliber.
And moving on to our next team qualifying to PCS2, we have Omicron, and these are the guys that have got themselves plenty of chicken dinners under their belt here throughout this tournament. And even past tournaments, Toby, when you've talked to other teams, a lot of teams have said we don't want to fight Omicron. And I think that's still true here today.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think T-Bone said it best himself. Their biggest opponent are themselves. It's a team that had a very recent change in leadership in terms of Gemty taking charge, and they have shown me they were really much on top. They were on top. We were arguing, is this going to be the Omicron championship? It didn't turn out to be, but they have proven as well as many other teams along this tournament, they are very capable of delivering in South Europe.
And let's take a look at our next team to qualify to PCS2. It will be Blaze, who started the day off with a chicken dinner themselves with very, very smart strategies and execution. And it's not necessarily one of the names that you would instantly jump to when it comes to qualifying directly to one of these tournaments, Martin. But into this tournament as well, they have stood out.
They have grown on me, honestly, and it's a team that I would say now has established themselves as the top team coming out of Turkey. Honestly, these guys have been able to frag out. They have been outperforming some teams that are directly invited for this, specifically in this finals here, and they've been able to make some crazy plays and clutch some of these moments here. Finishing on 111 points is super respectable. They're finishing, I think, 1 point ahead of Na'Vi as well. So for these guys to step up like that and be able to do this much, I think it's a new when you think of the best
ブレイズ良かったね。変な死に方も多かったけど。いいシーンも多かった。
With potential now, who has also qualified on through here to PCS2, and they've had some definite standout moments. They had a few slips here and there throughout the tournament, but qualifying through into PCS2 is fantastic for them, Toby.
Oh yeah, they're a team that are still, and it's gonna sound rude, but they're a team that are still learning to play against the best of the best. They haven't had the chance throughout the entirety of 2019 to go up against some of these guys for the Pro League format the way that we had it, and now, I mean, we've seen, as Martin said with Blaze as well, we saw them in certain situations go out and duel against some of the top teams and win those engagements. We've seen them do wise things in terms of rotation, but in my opinion, stick together over time, you will find greater results than what you have. Just the fact that you got yourself a free and right to PCS2 is going to be a great way for them to once again show what they're made of.
Yeah, huge. It's a chance to actually prove yourself again. It's not rude, it's candid, my friend. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to break things down. And another team that managed to get themselves into that top 11 throughout that last game is Redline. They've got to be ecstatic with that performance. It might not be challenging for the championship up towards the top here, Martin, but they've guaranteed themselves another
これシュールだったな。まあこの後アイバス死ぬんですけどね。
Yeah, for sure. And it was actually this last game that 100% secured them a nail bite of a match. And
この後アイバスさん死ぬんですけど。
being able to bring this much. They had a few times where you're thinking, oh my god, these guys are fragging out. They're doing some crazy plays. Some of these plays from Ivas I mean, overall, you know, swapping Michael in here for this tournament specifically, being able to qualify again for PCS, now they'll have a month off to go, you know, train, work on their communications, and then come back for PCS2 and really show what they're
11位の後に
capable
10位
of
出
with
てき
this
た。
new lineup, if they're sticking with that, obviously.
あ、終わ
And of
った
course, here is the money that everybody's been able to win themselves here throughout this tournament. Nobody goes home empty-handed, but also don't forget that also the Pick'em Challenge has contributed to this alongside it as well. This is just the base of what people have won here. So a huge congratulations to TSM once again for that 50,000. They're up at the top, 30 points clear, and that 30 points, Toby, was made up effectively in those last two games. What a phenomenal performance.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I mean, we were looking for that one team to be able to separate themselves. No one managed to do it, as you said, in the first 18 of 20 games. And finally, TSM comes from behind and just swoops them all. I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal to see from TSM to be able to do. I'm glad to see that one team can separate themselves in a group of teams where the average standard is already as insanely high as it is here. We see it time and time again in other regions where some teams, they just play way ahead of everyone else. To be able to separate yourself in this roster, in this lineup of 16 teams, is damn near impossible. And the fact that TSM has gone out and done it in a day, in a way that they have today, is very, very, very memorable, and will go down as one of the best days in competitive PUBG in a long time for their team in particular.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Here's the cross comparison. As congratulations as well to
全部で勝ったな。
and Northern Lights for getting themselves podium finishes throughout
あ、
all
でも
of
キル
this.
ポイント入ってない
Very
のか。あ、入って
impressive
るわ。
stuff. But TSM just standing head and shoulders above the rest. It's not just the placement points that they were able to accrue, Martin. It was the kill points as well. They just started to sweep and completely frag out against a lobby that's got so much power in it.
Yeah, and think of this as well. In the first game, they're so close to winning that game as well. They would have taken home 4 out of 5 chicken dinners. And to make 85 points in one day with only 5 matches played. Remember, we also played 6 when the
半分ぐらい今日稼いだんじゃない？
amazing
半分
game as
弱。
well. So,
半
this
分
is
ギ
an
リいかないぐらい。
insane performance. They were able to step up and frag out today. Like,
ク
it's
ラ
just,
ッカー
it's been insane.
各チームで一番
Two of the
活
names that
躍し
stood
た
out,
人。
Iro as well as Quizzy as well. And Iro, fantastic to talk to, fantastic to interview, but also fantastic on the battleground as well. I think we'd be, aggrieved if we didn't mention people like Fex, who was constantly popping up when it came to the overall stats at the end of these games as well, Toby. So just the whole roster has just really, cut a path through this tournament.
For sure. I mean, Fex separated himself by the end of today with over 800 damage done to anyone below him and 6 kills. So that the numbers speak for him. He's a madly good player, and they can all be very proud of what they've achieved.
All right. Well, we have our interview ready now as TSM has been victorious. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Iro. You know what? I'm pressing the button. I don't care. There's the flag. Here it comes. It's Iro, ladies and gentlemen. The Sith Lord himself. Congratulations, Iro.
Thank you,
How
bro.
you feeling?
TSM, the Sith Master.
Oh, yes.
なんでダー
We
ス
went
ベイ
to
ダ
the
ーや。
dark side today.
You definitely did. Just those last 2 games, especially amazing stuff. How do you feel after those 2 games, especially? You've won the championship, but those 2 last games were just insane.
Yeah, I don't even know how many points we got today. I heard you guys say like 17 average on 5 maps. That is just something else, I guess. I don't know what happened. We went lights out today. I'm super happy to win, super happy to actually provide the fans who voted for us, and it feels like amazing to actually win an online tournament on top of GL Season 4 as well, like when there wasn't Corona and we were able to play a LAN. So, yeah, I'm just feeling amazing right now.
Fantastic. Martin, any thoughts?
What are you going to use the money for, Iro? I want to know. Are you going to get a brand new car like Kyle Harris, or what are you going to do?
No way I'm buying a car, bro. No way.
You're staying inside all the time.
I'll probably just invest it.
Nice.
Oh.
I like it.
Smart.
Invest into some alcohol. Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Wait. Toby?
I don't really have a question. I just want to say congrats, man. You guys have been playing insane over the course of this tournament. What, like, there's so many teams and so many viewers can go back and watch and look at what you've done. From like that's what I'm.
じゃあまた。
about with you guys. It's not just they have good rotations. or
今日
they're
は
good at
ぼちぼち
shooting.
でいい
You
って
can
感
let
じで
Rico in
バル
and
カンさ
see
ん購
so
読
many
ありがとう
different things that you
エイト
guys
さん
do.
購読ありがとう
That is working so well together. So just
続き
massive
が気になる
congrats
方は
and
本
enjoy.
配信を PUBG って
Thank
い
you,
う
bro. Thank you.
TwitchTV/PUBG
Iro,
よろしく
final thought
Yeah.
from you.
Where's
What do you
me?
want to say to everybody out there?
Matane.
For TSM, for you, what do you want to say?
I mean, I want to thank